Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler, and today we're going to take a look at a new project that I've got going on. It doesn't make any sense at all, which is why I want to do it. We're not doing this because it is easy, but because it is hard. So, Axial released this Basecamp not too long ago, and I was lucky enough to get one. And my original blue one here, you can see I've upgraded with some Rock Pirates parts. I've got some Pro-Line tires, some Vanquish wheels, some awesome crawler upgrades. I was at Sky RC Hobby Shop for a little too long and looking around at all the shelves and seeing the vast variety of what Cody down there offers, hobby shop down in St. George, Utah. And I've really been eyeballing the No Prep RC drag tires. And after talking with Cody for a little while, he decided to send me home with a new box. So here we have another Axial Basecamp, but this time we're not going to turn it into a rock crawler. This time we're not going to put rock crawling tires on it. And this time we're not going to keep the portals on the truck either. That's right, we're going to take an Axial Basecamp and turn this into a No Prep RC drag race car, drag race truck. So you guys will have to help me come up with a clever name. I've either got the Axial SCX 10 seconds, or we've got the Axial road base going on. Something mixing up drag RC and drag racing and the rock crawler base camp here. So drop your comment down below what you think this project should be named. But really looking forward to this. This is gonna be goofy, it's gonna be wild. And again, it's not gonna be easy, but I can see it right now, man. Like, got the Hoosier slicks, skinnies up front, little tires in the front. We're gonna slam this truck. We're gonna modify it to get this thing as low as possible. Might have to cut out the arches on the fenders to make those slicks fit better. It's gonna be pretty sweet. Why don't we get this truck opened up and take a look at where we're starting. Well, all right, guys, here we have our Axial Basecamp. You can see that this one is in the gray variant. Not a big deal there. Luckily, there's no inner fenders to deal with because we'd likely have to modify those anyway if we're going to try and slam and tuck everything up in there. So, Sky RC was kind enough to send me home with a straight axle kit from Axial. That's going to allow the overall ride height to drop down. What are the goals with this build, right? We got to set like what we want to do. Now, it's going to be a no prep truck, so it's got to be able to run down 132 feet and go quickly. I don't expect this thing to like beat like real badass no prep cars, but I do think it will be fun just as a goofy project to turn this thing into a race truck. We're gonna see if we're gonna have to notch the chassis rails on here and get this thing all the way down. We're gonna use and maintain the stock body because I want it to blatantly look like a rock crawler that's been turned into a no prep truck. That's definitely one of the goals, is it's got to appear as if it is a no prep truck. The other part is we're going to retain the factory transmission in this thing to abuse it and see how much power these things can take. Nobody's really messed with the new Axial 5 gear. Speaking of the transmission, with the straight axle kit, typically when you go from portals to straight axles, you lose the gearing reduction in the portals, and that makes your truck faster if you go to a straight axle kit. And Axial sells a different gear set to add more gear down to slow down the truck again once you put straight axles on it, which is great for crawling. But this time we're gonna skip over those gears. We're gonna try and make this thing go fast. We're probably gonna put a big pinion in there and a real spicy brushless system. I'm not sure if we're gonna try and go for 2S or 3S. I don't own a 2S battery, but that might change here pretty quick. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull the wheels and tires off. We're gonna have to rip these axles out of here and get some straight axles put on it. It should be a good time. Looking forward to this project. All right, guys, so we've got the straight axles actually sitting under the truck, obviously not connected to anything. This body is just sitting on top of the axles sitting here. And just getting an idea for the width of how much tire poke we're gonna have both in the front. We've got about 1/4 to 1/2 inch in the front. And then the rear, we've got about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch in the rear. So I don't know if we're gonna end up modifying the body a little bit. In the rear, I'll most likely, because there's so much poke, I'll most likely just follow the tire line of however low we can get this body and slam it as much as possible. And then in the front, we may try some body modifications, like maybe throw a little slit in the fender and maybe kink it out, use a little bit of heat possibly to warp the Lexan,
pull out those fenders just enough to get the top of the tread there covered, but that's a hurdle we'll cover a ways down the road. So that's one thing I want to talk about, is what the expectations are of these videos. I'm just going to kind of document me messing around with it. There's no real timeline here. Tonight I'm going to probably try and get these straight axles under the truck. We'll give you guys an update there. But for the videos, don't expect this thing to be done in the next video, but we're going to be messing with it. So again, huge thanks to Cody at Sky RC Hobby Shop in St. George, Utah. If you guys are in the area, stop by and check them out. Definitely one of the best hobby shops in Utah. So thanks so much, Cody. I greatly appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, we'll give you guys an update here in a minute as I work more on this truck, and then we'll probably close it out here pretty soon, as I think we'll call today enough progress for the brand new project.
Well, all right, guys, it has made quite a transformation in just the first few hours of it being home. As you can see, the real base camp here and our converted drag base camp over there, SCX 10 seconds. I don't know, maybe, is that the name? I don't know, we'll find out. But we'll get this base camp up and out of the way. We'll take a look at the changes we've made to the truck in this video, and then this is the wrap up for episode 1, and of course we'll be coming back for more in future episodes. So we need to figure out where to mount this guy in a future episode. And here we've got our base camp. So what we've done is portal delete, and then we also put on these wheels and tires. Let's talk about the specifics of those wheels and tires. So the rears are the Hoosier Proline Drag Slicks SC2230 S3 compound soft drag racing tires. So these have the Hoosier on the sidewall. That's what the rear tires are there. The wheels are the StarTech J Concepts 4-pack. So it's got the rears and the fronts in there, 2230s and 2.2s up front. Those are the skinnies in the front. And then we've also got the matching skinny Hoosiers in the front. They do have little grooves in them along the front tires. So hopefully in a little bit of time, that will clean up the tread pattern there. Like there's some molding residue in there that I'm sure will go away after a couple passes. But again, S3 compound, so nothing real crazy going on with the fronts. And then the other part that we installed was the Axial SCX 10.3 straight axle conversion kit. So real simple there. Let's take a look underneath the truck at what we've changed. So the base camp comes with the lightweight links, which actually it didn't end up being so bad on this truck. We've still got our front axle, and it's got its front differential in it right now. However, in time I'm going to remove that, and we're going to modify the front drive shafts here to where we only have the outer C there, the outside part of the universal. So basically the bearings and the knuckle will hold the wheel on, and it'll free spin, no extra rotational weight, no extra weight in the front axle as well. Still running 3-link up there. As you can see, there's no 4th link here. Real simple up front. Took out the shock cups, and then I moved the spring mounting position on the 10.3 straight axle down to where the link is, which is how the portals sit. And so that allows me to run it fully slammed like it is. So I mean, just stock shocks and springs, we were able to get it that low with this setup that we're setting up. Front body posts, I had to change them because the original body post sat too high and it was holding the nose of the truck like way up here. And once we got rid of those and went straight post right out the top, we're going to drill new holes, but that's all right. And then I'm also going to trim down these body posts where they're more reasonable. Once we got that set up, then it's looking good with the body posts right there, allowing us to run it as low as possible. Our servo is touching the hood right here, so I cannot go any lower in the front, which is just fine. With our tire height, we got just enough gap right there that I'm pretty happy with it. I'm hoping on launches that it kind of lifts the front end up and then settles back down. I think that should look pretty good out there on track. The tires are not glued yet. I've still got to get to that. They'll probably be glued by the next time it comes on camera. In the rear, I went to an 80mm incision shock. I had 2 of them laying around from my Phoenix kit from Vanquish that I put together. And again, mounted that down to the axle. And so we got the 4-link set up, pinion angles looking pretty good. Didn't have to change anything. However, the links I need to adjust because this axle is not sitting center in the truck. And now that we've got it this low against the body, we can really see the offset on the axle. So all I got to do is adjust the lengths on the links and we'll get that centered back up. Just haven't taken the time to do it yet. You can see rear only drive shaft. We're definitely going to install a sway bar on this thing at some point because it's going to torque twist like mad. And we're probably going to do a more proper shock setup in the rear as well. But really limited travel on here. There you go, full droop all the way down.
and then it's way too soft for a launch. But trimmed up the fenders a little bit as well. Aesthetically, it's going to look pretty similar to this. Like, we've got our main components. It's low, it's got the wheels and tires, it's got the body. I'm not sure if I want to keep the rear bumper on here or not. That's going to be up to you guys there. Drop a comment down below if we should keep the bumper, and then if we should end up trimming the body to make it fit a little better. I want to try and make the body like hang all the way down over it. I want as low as possible. The body posts in the rear, I slammed them down, so they are as low as they will go. I've had a few comments with my buddies, just texting them and whatnot. They want me to try and use a heat gun to flare the fenders. I don't think we're going to get enough Lexan to flare to actually cover the tires, so I think I'd rather just cut it out and let the tire poke out. If we take a look on the rear, like I say, axle's not centered. You got like a full 3/4 inch sticking out over here and like just under a 1/2 inch sticking out over here. So clearly not centered. This side looks a little ridiculous with how much tire sticking out. But overall, real happy. One other part we're going to need to figure out is this guy. We've got ourselves a Proline drag racing wheelie bar 6351-00. It's a Stinger drag racing wheelie bar for / two-wheel drive. Yeah, we're gonna figure out some kind of way to get this thing mounted up. But once we do, it's gonna look the part, man. Gonna have a wheelie bar out the back. Of course, we added all the horsepower tonight, guys. We got sticker, 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 sticker. Like, we got all the horsepower we could want right now. Of course, still running the stock electronics in here. Probably going to upgrade, absolutely going to upgrade the motor in ESC. Steering servo, we may go for something a little bit quicker. I do have a Reefs 299 that we may be able to drop in here. But for now, I think that's where we're going to call it. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are on this. It's way outside of what I'm normally doing, but like, I've got crawlers. I want to do something goofy and weird, and this is something goofy and weird. I'm really excited for this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to go put some passes down the track with our SCX 10.3 Basecamp. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.